Hello, blessed soul family. I am the magical medium, and you have found your way to this spiritual guidance channel. I'm a medium, I'm a telepath, an empath. I could put lots of labels on myself: witch, energy healer, light worker, spirit warrior. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. They're all labels and terms. But what it really means for me is that I speak with those that aren't seen. And today, before you, we have 4 separate readings. They want you to concentrate on the candle right now. That's why it's meant to be this way. And I'm like, I know I don't have a fancy camera and everything, but no, it's meant to be this way. Because they want you to focus on the flame. Focus on the flame right now. We welcome the waning gibbous energy. We're just 3 days shy of the 3rd quarter moon. We are in the 6th moon phase. There are 8 phases in each moon cycle, and we are in the 6th one. This is the time to reflect and release. So each of these readings, because that's what they are, they're 4 separate readings for mass people. But in each of these readings are the messages you need to hear on what to reflect on and release, or release and reflect, right? Depends on you and your situation. It's different for everybody. So, with that being said, a lot of things are changing. If you've noticed, if you've been with me for a long time, welcome back, and thank you for your constant support. And for the new people, welcome. So what Spirit is having me do, you've kind of been watching me create Lula's Labyrinth and then dissect and pick apart Lula's Labyrinth to turn into the magical medium and now Lula's life. And it was done before you to show you how I started and my journey, to empower you and inspire you to do the same for yours. And even though in each moon phase, this is the Aquarius moon, even though we had the full moon in Leo, fire, which is probably why they're having us focus on that fire. It's the combination of the moon, of the new moon in Aquarius, right? This new moon cycle in the Aquarian energy. But also, if the full moon in Leo didn't mean anything, it wouldn't exist. And if you put air and fire together, why do you think it is so difficult for them to contain a forest fire? It's because the wind blows as it blows, and there's nothing you can do about it. And fire also has a mind of its own. So when you take something like fire that could be so constructive, it burns things to create heat so that we're warm, but it also in the same instance can backfire, right? What is that? Backdraft. Thank you, Spirit. They just gave me a visual of that movie. I totally forgot about that. That was a good movie. Sad, but good. Good lesson, right? Maybe we're all meant to go watch that. I'm going to go see if I can find that. But that backdraft, right? Where they say, don't open the door, because the second you open the fucking door, that fire is going to go everywhere, because the fire wants to live. So it's going to seek oxygen, and air is oxygen, and fire cannot be without air. However, right now there's oxygen in this room, and you can see the flame dancing. You know it's there. It's moving. It doesn't have to be windy in here, but there's still oxygen and air moving in this room. Now, if I opened the windows and there was a windstorm, or even just if I opened the window right now, you'd see it flutter. But if it was a windstorm and I open the window, it may blow it in and blow it out, or it could blow it into something else and start something else on fire. Spirit, the reason why they keep bringing up nature stuff on Lula's life and here, which is why they want me to speak of it. I just did a nature walk. You might want to check it out. We went to the Merhut waterfall. Oh my gosh, it's magical. And you can even, if you don't feel like watching, the whole video or the whole hike and the lessons in the hike, you can just watch to the end to go see it. But I have a lot of meditations. Jessica, I don't know if you're still out there. We miss you. I know I can feel you, but dude, you were like all over. One of our tribe members, like her energy was like all over. I feel like spirit is calling her to get into nature. So not to call you out, sister, but it was really powerful. The whole time we were there, you kept coming up for me many, many times. I actually took extra videos just so that I can post them for when you need them. Anyway, I digress. But, there's just something really potent and powerful. We are given these energies to see how we're going to work through them. And I have had time to reflect myself and release the energy of what at the beginning of this moon cycle, right? In fact, I'm like, I didn't bring my calendar out. But at the beginning of this moon cycle, I had a completely different view on my life. I mean, everything was good. Everything was going great. Everything, And man, that full moon came in and it's as if fucking not just a bull in a china shop, but it's as if it was like, the raging of the bulls. And it was just like all of a sudden, like everything was destroyed. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I don't even know what we can and can't salvage at this point. You know what I mean? So when I was putting this together, I was so emotional and I was feeling a lot of dark energy. So I wasn't surprised that the dark mirror deck wanted to come in. But I was also, releasing it and letting it go and working with it. And then all of a sudden I felt like this calmness kind of come over me. And then I started putting it together again. And then I felt this anxiety and this energy. So I was like, wow. So I can feel where all of you guys are. Like I can feel that you're struggling. I can feel that things are rough. So I am here to hold space for you and love you and support you as much as I can. And Spirit is going to do the same. Also, they're having me bring up certain things because they're kind of like putting breadcrumbs on both of my channels because both of my channels have a different purpose. This channel is for spiritual guidance, yes, but I live my life this way. So Lula's life was struggling and wasn't making sense to me because I just wanted a place to do music and put out my poetry and my short stories and just somewhere for me to be creative. But then I just kept feeling this pressure that no, I was supposed to do like more nature videos and things like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So it's basically the way Lula's Labyrinth was before, but like I always wanted to take the readings off. But also they're having me do my, when I used to do my bitchy witch or the real talks or whatever, like it's evolved over the years. Well, now, as of today, I just posted a new one. So you might want to go check it out. And it's called Tallulah Talk. And that one was really great because it was about attachment, boundaries, and karma. It was really powerful, and that's to do with my personal life and things that are going on, but it also might be applicable to yours as well. But there were just a lot of good lessons in there if you're drawn to it. So you're going to notice that my channels are going to evolve, and I'm still going to have certain things on this channel because they had me upload them here. So I feel like at some point, maybe like on a Throwback Thursday or Flashback Friday or something, they'll have me like, start like weaning it off. You know what I mean? For real. And then like, I don't know, because there's something they want me to put on here today that I was like, that feels like it's more Lula's life now. And they're like, it'll all make sense later. Right. So right now I'm just kind of casting the net out wide on both channels to kind of see, we're building and growing in numbers because we're all connecting to each other. We're finding each other. Especially I kind of feel like, did you ever see 16 Candles where, they're sitting in the car, the quote unquote, the dork and the popular girl, it's like they're sitting, well, actually she wasn't popular, but she wasn't unpopular. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. And they're talking about their places in the high school and they're like, kind of these roles that they play that they don't even feel like it's themselves. And they're being very real with each other, because teenagers don't get really real unless like you're close friends, right? Because you're trying to be something you're not, or you're not even sure what you want to be, but you know what I mean? It's like this, it's a very tough time. I mean, man, teenage years, I mean, every decade has its own lessons and challenges, but honestly, I do feel like the teens are one of the toughest. And so, if you lack guidance there, or you lack, ambition or purpose, it can feel devoid. And then that you take that on with you. So, it takes time to figure that out as an adult. And then you go back to that time, you're like, what's going on? So, that movie came up because there's a moment where he says, well, I'm not cool or something. She's like, well, I'm not really cool. And he's like, yeah, like I'm worse, I'm paraphrasing. And she's like, well, you're kind of like, the head of your group. And one of them says something like, so he's the king of the dipshits. And she goes, yeah. And she goes, but what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? And I started to believe that, over the years, that I was just, all of my friends or people that I was drawn to the most, or those who sought my guidance, were like weirdos like me. They were freaks and strange and outcasts and like talk to themselves and all these things. And I was just like, I do that too. Like, I don't think you're crazy. You start with the whispers. Well, now I feel like there's more of us and we're out there and we're like, we're actually like okay, like I wouldn't say we're quote unquote normal, because I think that's a label that's been very destructive over many many moons. But you hear what I'm saying? You feel me? You hear what I'm trying to put down? It's like, you don't have to cater to what other people think or believe or whatever. It's like, as long as you have your tribe and your community and your people, that's all that matters. And if you are alone right now, then seek out your people. These are your people. We are your people. If you have found yourself here, you are part of this tribe. We did not come here to play small. We came here to play big. We have serious, big, important things to do here. So this reading, I feel, is very purposeful. I feel like the reflect and the release that we're going to gain from it is going to really help kind of like divert our path. I'm looking forward to it too, and because I'm just as you, I'm here as the medium. I'm bringing the messages, but I have no idea. I'm going to shuffle per reading, so it'll be new to me as well. And now they're saying it's time to look. And before you do, which one, even though they're blurry, which one was calling to? Was there more than one calling to? Were you trying to figure out the words? Do you know the deck? Like, so in the energy of reflect and release, take in some deep breaths and breathe out. However feels good to you. Release and let go. And now open your eyes. Where are your eyes going? Where are your eyes going? Where do your eyes go now? I thought it was interesting too. They kind of aligned organically like that. And I thought it's so interesting. It's almost like if you look at like native spirit is like the earth medicine, like, because it is, it's like the native spirit, right? It's like indigenous to this earth, no matter when we say indigenous people, it's the people that were like the ones that look after the earth, make sure nothing happens, right? And the Native American, the Aboriginal people, in Australia, it's like, look in northern and southern hemisphere, it's like you hear about indigenous people from all over. I'm not just, but I'm just talking about, I mean, we can even go as far as to the north, right? To the Inuit people, I believe they go by, but it's every tribe in between. And I feel like the native spirit is the deck that I have that is like the representation of that. So I almost feel like that's, like kind of like earth energy. And then the dark mirror, I feel like, is the third dimensional energy, right? That we're dealing with. It's the ego. That deck is all about ego, right? Because the native spirit is connecting you back to earth, back to, self. But the dark mirror, like, what's going on? Is there ego that's blocking you? Is it somebody else's ego that's like, so if you're drawn to that one. And then interestingly enough, we go to the light, living by the moon. And we've got dark and light like right next to each other. And the moon and the sun, in the picture, it's kind of the same thing, right? The balance of the light and the dark. You cannot have one without the other. If we didn't have the sun, we wouldn't have warmth to survive, right? If we didn't have the moon be devoid of light, the sun shines on it and then it shines back on us because it's like a big mirror, just like the dark mirror, the surface, right? And it's all about emotions as well. I mean, even now we're in the waning gibbous energy, right? And it's interesting because the moon that they're holding in their hand on that deck is actually more of first quarter moon, right? So very interesting. And then the last one is the Oracle of the Unicorns. And that's what I think of as the unicorns, right? Like they're like the light beings, they come from the angel realm. At least that's what it feels like to me when I work with them. It kind of feels like to me that there's like different realms, and it feels to me that the angel realm is like just chock full of like the dragons and angels and unicorns and Pegasus, right? Like the creation, like creative creatures. And anyway, I can go on and on and on. So to me, I just thought that was interesting. So if that means anything to you guys, that's another way for you to kind of choose. So, I mean, you can look at them as 1, 2, 3, and 4, but I am going to list them as, reading 1, Native Spirit, reading 2, Dark Mirror, reading 3, Living by the Moon, and reading 4, Oracle of the Unicorns, So read one, read them all, whichever ones you're drawn to. But those are the messages for the collective from Spirit. I hope this helped you in any way. And I'm excited to say that we are going to do links. So I'm going to do pick-a readings when they pull me to do them. And when we do that, I'm going to put the links. It's not going to just be on one video. It's going to be the links because of it's something like this, right? They're very different. You're looking at 4 completely different decks, even though they can all mirror each other or work with each other, or you know what I mean? It's like, but we're talking about 4 completely different energies, different, creators, artists, all the way around, right? They're downloads from Spirit when they were created. So yeah, I have the chills. I'm getting really excited for you guys. I'm excited for myself. And so that's the way that's going to go down. And if you go on my page or go basically anywhere on this channel, but definitely on the front, home page or whatever at the bottom, there is a link to Lula's Life if you would like to be a part of that as well. You can watch those. You don't have to subscribe, but if you'd like to, please like, comment, and subscribe. It does help get it out there. Also, I've been doing more research. Thank you to Zoe, the tribe member. Oh my gosh, you don't know what a gift it is as someone that's a little inept in certain areas and grew up at a different time period to have somebody who is way more experienced than I, giving me really great tips and things to help with my work and also to help me understand the computer systems and these apps and algorithms. It was very enlightening. So thank you, Zoe. Boy, you blessed us with your visit and on so many levels. I can't even tell you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And to all of you who keep liking, subscribing, and commenting, we are gaining momentum, my beautiful tribe. We are getting out there, and it is becoming more quote unquote normal to the masses for those who are still, I don't even want to say asleep. Actually, you know what? Perfect example. If you go on Lula's Life in the community section today, Spirit had me post the Spiritual Warrior. I think it's called Welcome to the Spiritual Warrior. It's an album, but I don't remember the title of the specific meditation that's on the album. You know what I mean? So Spirit had me, it came to me in meditation before this today, and I was working with Deepak, and wow, I felt like it just resonated on a whole other level for me today, even though I've heard it many times. So there's a link to that in my community section that I just posted on Lula's Life. Otherwise, you can maybe you're just drawn to look up the whole album and watch it yourself. But either way, may you be blessed today and always, wherever you are in your life. Remember to take really good care of yourselves and each other. And until next time, I will see you at your reading. Blessed be. Oh,